Yeah, that's me, Frank Recker, the travel guy, and welcome to Greece.
Come on now, there's a world out there and it's waiting to be explored. If you're craving an adventure, the travel guy's got what you're looking for. Sights, sounds, streets of town, just take a look around. As you dream of paradise, there's advice we must bestow. Don't just pack your bags and hit the road, you gotta know before you go.
Greece is located in southeastern Europe and is bordered by Albania, Bulgaria, Macedonia, and Turkey, as well as the Aegean and Ionian Seas.
The Acropolis is an engineering marvel. It's built high on a hilltop so that everyone for miles can see it. Now, the Greeks at the time, they were very religious, so they built the Acropolis as their religious center. Once inside the grounds, you're going to see the Parthenon. It's one of the world's more famous buildings. And you're also going to get a great bird's eye view of the city of Athens. Walking around the grounds made me feel really small. The Parthenon temple is a massive structure, and its columns were built as an illusion. Here, I met up with Tassos, who gave me more insight. Now, they were shaped with a bulge in the middle?
Yes, they were bulging in the middle. It's a kind of, not illusion, but aesthetic enhancement.
Yeah. How old is the Acropolis?
Oh, since the creation of the world, of course. The Acropolis as a rock is very old. The Parthenon started being built in 1449, something like that, before Christ. And this was for Athena Parthenos, Athena the Virgin. But there were more temples on the Acropolis dedicated to Athena.
Tassos has been directing the Acropolis restoration project for about 3 decades, so he allowed me to walk inside the Parthenon with him. Climbing those stairs and seeing the sun radiate through the columns provided me with an experience I won't forget. Just a short walk from the Parthenon is another very impressive temple called the Erechtheion, constructed around 406 BC. You'll spot this temple right away because of its 6 massive statues of women known as Keratites, or maidens. They are the supporting columns of the porch on the south wall of the temple. As we explored the temple, Tassos explained that in ancient times, this temple was home to a sacred snake who kept the city safe. Get this, they fed it honey cakes, and when the snake didn't care for the cakes, it was thought to be a bad or disastrous omen. I think it just got tired of the same old, same old. Walking around the Acropolis provided me with an amazing panorama of Athens. A camera is a must on top of this hill. When the sun goes down, nightfall brings a whole new look to the Acropolis.
In the Monastiraki area of Athens, you'll find a very famous little shop called Melissinos the Poet. And inside, you'll find 2 very interesting characters, Stavros and his son Pantelis, both poets and sandal-makers. I've walked so many miles in my shoes, I figure it's high time I get a custom-made pair. The business was opened in 1920 by Stavros' father and has been in the family for 3 generations. Afraid his son would starve as a poet, Stavros' father suggested he get a real job.
After 1,000 times making the same sandal, always I have something else to do on the same sandal, you know. I feel that I create something new.
Every time.
And that is the spirit.
I used to watch them because they didn't want me around. I was like Dennis the Menace. And I was making little sandals.
Yeah.
When you work with your hands, it's mind relaxing. It's like therapy. It's therapeutic.
You've had many, many, many famous people come through here.
Yeah.
Could you name some of them for me?
Oh, yes. First of all, the Beatles. The Queen of Spain, Jackie O, Sophia Loren, Barbara Streisand.
Oh, wow. Knowing I was in good company, I went to make a pair of my own. So we found my sole, that's the first step, and next we're going to punch the holes.
Each time I make a pair of sandals, it's like I'm making it for a theatrical production.
Right,
because each individual is a special person.
After punching the holes, the mark of authenticity that signals genuine Melissinos craftsmanship was added. And then it was time to cut the leather straps. So I feel like I'm being a little bit lazy here. Can I help you at all?
Yeah, you're my muse.
Hey, if I have to. I mean, I would be willing to let you make shoes for me every day if I had to.
We're almost ready for you
For the fitting?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the final stage.
All right. The moment of truth. We're gonna try them on.
Have a seat.
All right. You're the Prince Charming of the sandals. Oh, come on. Oh, it's perfect. Got my new shoes. And better yet, Stavros shared his world-famous poetry with me.
Keep the honors, the glories, the golden plates, the granite palaces with the golden gates. Just give me the tear of joy, the smile of pain, to erect palaces in me, in which I'll reign.
The Plaka is the oldest section in Athens, and it's totally dedicated to tourists. It's located right underneath the Acropolis, and most of the roads are close to traffic. Here you'll find restaurants, cafes, tourist souvenirs of every kind, jewelry shops galore. Well, there's a lot of shops to check out, and I definitely wanted a few souvenirs, and this is the place for that. Here, I met up with Alkas to learn more about the Plaka. So, how would you describe the Plaka?
Plaka is a village within a city, within a capital. There's a village that retains the village atmosphere, you know, two-story houses like in the old times. They're the same houses built in the 19th century.
Is this the oldest area in Athens?
Yes,
Yeah?
yes. It's the oldest area in Athens, and it used to be at some time before Greece becomes a free state. It used to be a village, just a village.
Now it's grown to this tourist attraction.
No, within a century, it became the center of tourist industry in Greece. 19th century, every street had its own profession. So this used to be the street of the butchers. And I've read accounts of 1800 that this was dirt here, and the blood of the animals they slaughtered was running down the street.
Alkas then took me to see what he said was the world's first street. How old is this road here?
At least 6, 7 centuries old. It must be the oldest street in the world.
I wondered if this was the original dirt I was walking on.
They built streets, and this was lined with choregic monuments like this one. Several like this were along the street, which were offered by rich Athenians.
Yeah. Now, a visit to Athens isn't complete without having an ouzo. Okay, I'm going to try it now.
Yasu.
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 Yasu. Is this a good way to drink it, just straight with ice?
No, this is unusual. The owner insisted that we drink it like this with ice, but usually you drink it with water, a lot of water. Best part of ouzo is not the drink, it's the snacks that go with it, and all the art is there to produce the appropriate snacks that to go with ouzo. It could be olives, could be fish, could be anything, but prepared in a special way to go with the perfume of ouzo, which is anise.
Anise. The best way I can describe this, it has a nice black licorice candy flavor. And it goes down so smooth, but I feel it right here, nice and warm, huh?
It's an aperitif. You don't drink too much of it. 1 or 2 glasses, no more.
Well, it's already starting to have effect on me. Thank you. This is good.
In the Saronic Bay off the mainland of Greece, you'll find the island of Aegina. It has a colorful and bustling port, beautiful coastal views, a small artistic community dedicated to pottery, and perhaps some of the best pistachios anywhere in the world. And the best part? It's just a short ride from Athens. After hopping off the ferry, I explored the port area lined with restaurants and shops, and then headed to a local pistachio store. Yorgos, how are you doing?
I am fine, you?
Good. Thank
Very
you
nice.
for agreeing to tell me a bit more about pistachios. They're so famous here.
Yeah, we have a seeded ground and clima here to have a good quality about this stuff.
Right.
We can find this quality only in this island because the clima is perfect. It's important to find pistachio, local pistachio, because the quantity is very small.
Having heard so much about these pistachios, I had to taste a few. So let's try the plain one first.
First the plain.
All right.
To bring the salmon spoons. Try the other things.
This is very good. Let's try the roasted one.
Correct, yes. Take this.
Cheers.
Yamas, we say yamas in
Yamas? No, you have to eat that one.
Okay.
Yamas.
Really is good, eh?
Oh.
Nice.
Yeah, I could eat a whole bucket of these. After the tasting, Yorgos put me to work. Anybody want fresh pistachios? Come here. Fresh pistachios? We headed inland to the family's farm. Pistachios, I learned, grow on trees, and the climate here is perfect because of the intense sun, fall rain, and fertile soil. The harvest occurs once per year in August, rearing about 3,000 kilos of produce.
This is the good pistachio we have here.
Oh, wow.
This is naturally closed, but most of them are naturally open.
They'll open?
Yeah.
How do you know if it tastes good? Is it just your personal...
It's sweet. It's sweet. After 1 minute, you understand the sweet.
Which one do you think is open?
Try this, or this.
Ah, he's good. Look at that. It's open. I'm working with a master here. I like your products very much.
Very good.
On the way back to town, we enjoyed the beautiful coastal panoramas.
When you're in Greece, you just gotta do what the Greeks do, and that's have great food. Today, I'm gonna learn how to make the traditional dish of moussaka. The moussaka starts with frying the potatoes for about 3 minutes. While George was frying, his wife was cooking the cream. This is finely ground mincemeat.
Beef, mincemeat.
Cheese, eggs.
So you let the cream settle for about a minute. Still stirring while it's off the heat. I thought moussaka was a real easy dish to make, but man, there's so many stages and a lot of stirring. Now, the eggplant. Eggplants, just thinly slice them and you let them fry for about 2-3 minutes till they're golden brown. Now, moussaka starts taking shape. Lay down the potatoes on a nice flat pan. Right, the mincemeat gets added on. Can I do it? Yeah. Make sure the potatoes are fully covered with the mincemeat. Cheese gratings. I got to lay the fried eggplant over the potatoes, mincemeat, and the cheese. I guess I was skimping on the eggplant. He says, no, you gotta put more, because that's what gives moussaka that great texture and largeness to it. Put the cheese into the cream mixture, so now you got double cheese in the moussaka. Okay, I was getting really hungry watching as the eggs and more cream got added. The thickened cream mixture then gets poured on top of the 4 base layers. Wow, I love this. More cheese on top of the cream mixture. Oil is then poured over the mixture to darken the top layer. Then, into the oven it goes. Now, the waiting game, 10 minutes before you can pull it out and maybe start to eat it. Moussaka, this is my favorite time. I get to eat it now. This is so delicious. But as I'm looking at this plate, I don't think one's gonna cut it, so I think I'm gonna have a second, possibly a third, and hopefully a fourth. Delicious.
Just a few kilometers from the town of Aegina, you'll find the tiny mountain village of Melissinos. Now, it's not a very large place, but it has a great tradition of pottery. And if you come here, you just might be lucky enough to find Nectarios, and he may even teach you how to make a bowl. So we start by finding a proper piece of clay and rolling it.
Problem.
So we throw it on, add a bit of water. It's important to keep your hands wet and the clay wet so it's maneuverable. Thumbs inside, okay. So you put your thumbs in to keep the form. There's such an ease with which Nectarios is able to let it roll through his fingers without forcing it. It just kind of swirls through and he shapes it as if it's, you know, an extension of him. All natural. We let it dry in the sun with the rest of the fabulous bowls that Nectarios has made today. And soon it was my turn to create wonderful works of art. Uh-oh. I think we're making... Oh. Now what? This looks terrible. Oh, God. Look what I did. Now what? No. Oh, I got cut off. I'm so bad that I got cut off. Even though I tried. Look at my hands. These are the hands of a working girl. Cut me off. Nectarios was a man of few words. English words, that is, so perhaps his teachings were lost in translation. What I did manage to learn was that his father was his mentor, and he has been a potter his entire life. After my disastrous attempts, I stuck to carrying the bowls for him.
One ceremony that you should check out is the changing of the guards at the tomb of the unknown soldier located at the Greek Parliament building. Now, these soldiers are dressed in their traditional Greek uniforms, but don't let the pom-poms on their clogs fool you. These men are big and they have guns. The tomb of the unknown soldier is a monument remembering all soldiers who died in the war that could not be identified. Try to get to the front of the line because when the ceremony is on, you'll want to take lots of photos and see this unique ceremony. The Soldiers' March alone is a spectacle to witness. I was looking for an activity that's different than all the rest, so I came across Greek cultural dance lessons. What an idea! Oh man, I hope these guys can help me out.
Do you want to start from more easy dances and then...
Easy is good for me.
Okay, yeah. We will do a very easy dance.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more time.
Maybe 2 more times.
3, 4, okay. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
After my lesson, my confidence made me think that I could do a more difficult Greek dance maneuver. So I asked my instructor Eliash to show me a few more moves.
Okay, you are tired? No.
He's not bad. Studying his flexibility, maneuverability, height of his kick, and graceful landing, I was pretty sure that I could pull that off. After all, I had lessons.
Like this. Like this. One. Yes, perfect, perfect.
Now come your teacher?
Oh.
Eliash is a member of the Greek Dances Theater of Athens. This group offers dance lessons and puts on seasonal shows dressed in spectacular, authentic costumes.
Hey, a lady! Oh, Lauren!
Sorry, Frank.
That's okay. I love Athens.
Man, I've been on top of the Acropolis, the religious center of the time. And I've even did a little shopping around the Plaka area. Yeah, just so there. I learned to do a few Greek dances, and I even had a little moussaka.
Just a little?
Okay, more than just a little.
More than a little. I visited the beautiful island of Aegina, ate its world-famous pistachios, had a couple of sandals made for me, and I even got to test my hand at pottery. And let's just say, I'm no master craftsman.
Wow. Lauren, you know what? It really pays to
No, before you go.
Let's go!
All right, let's go, Frank.
Traffic in Athens can be horrendous, especially if you're trying to cross the street. What you think is a red light, the driver may see as a green light and cut right through. So do yourself a favor and definitely look both ways before crossing. Most Athens taxi drivers are notorious for jacking up their rates no matter what distances they take you. To be really safe, ask your hotel what the rate should be, or better yet, ask them to turn on the meter so you don't get grossly overcharged. The underground metro trains are a fast and efficient way to get around the city of Athens. But keep this in mind, they do close down early, so check your metro schedule. Many restaurants do not accept credit cards. They prefer the old-fashioned method of payment, cash. So ask before you order so you won't get embarrassed or get stuck washing the dishes.